as far ahead of Tua as Lewis was in their fight through the first 8 rounds, was much more active. And it's in the jabs that we might see whether this can be a fight. Can the jabber be out-jabbed by the challenger?
A word on scoring from our unofficial ringside judge, Harold Wladimir.
Okay, Jim, we're so often asked, how each individual round is scored. We use 4 points: clean, effective punching, effective aggressiveness. In other words, you got to land punches while you're coming forward. Ring generalship, who's putting his opponent where he wants to have him, and defense, keeping those hands up, elbows in tight, blocking the punches and slipping punches. Jim.
All right, Harold. As the challenger, Hasim Rahman will enter the ring first. Rahman's made a lot of friends here in South Africa. Longest inactive stretch of his career since a fight against journeyman Frankie Swindell. Prior to that, he had a 7th round TKO over South African star Corey Sanders in a slugfest on HBO.
It's dark and hell is hot. Ain't no sunshine when it's on. Ain't no sunshine when it's on. It's on. You niggas need me every time, 'cause we don't breathe. We turn out the lights, and you don't right. Thinking it's alright.
Typical of this most cruel of sports, Rahman's career is defined more by his 2 losses than by his 34 wins. He outboxed David Tua for 9 rounds, then got hit by a left hook after the bell, didn't get a chance to recover, and was stopped 35 seconds into the 10th. He was leading Oleg Moskaev in Atlantic City when he left himself open for a huge Moskaev right hand, went through the ropes, and was counted out. He says he learned everything he needed to know from those 2 defeats to go on now, improve his career, and become the heavyweight champion of the world. And now the crowd waits to see the undisputed heavyweight champion. Lingered in America partially to film his own role in Steven Soderbergh's new movie Ocean's 11, which was being shot in Las Vegas on April 5 and April 6. Lewis actually got into the ring at the MGM Grand Hotel with possible future opponent Wladimir Klitschko of the Ukraine.
Africa! And millions watching around the world. champion of the world. Mr. Lennox, you are bum, bum. Mr. Lennox, you are bum, bum, bum. If Jah is standing by your side, then why should you be afraid of the pestilence that goes? If Jah is standing by your side,
born in London, raised largely in Jamaica and Kitchener, Ontario, won an Olympic gold medal for Canada in 1988, migrated back to England to become England's first undisputed heavyweight champion in more than 100 years. 38 wins, 1 loss on the surprise knockout by Oliver McCall. The draw in the Evander Holyfield fight that almost every ringside observer regards as a Lewis victory, his 15th appearance in a heavyweight championship fight. Let's go to ring announcer Duncan Pollock for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sun International's Carnival City Casino's Big Top Arena. Lion Promotions, Golden Gloves and Main Events in association with Cedric Kushner Productions and Budweiser, the undisputed, undefeated King of Beers, brings you Thunder in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, this is for the WBC, IBO and IBF Heavyweight World Titles. Our supervisors from the WBC, please welcome Mr. Frank Quill from Melbourne in Australia and Mr. Sam Ramsamy from Johannesburg in South Africa. Our supervisor from the IBF, Marian Mohammed from New Jersey in the United States. And from the IBO from Florida in the United States, Mr. Ed Levine. Our judges at ringside. From Washington, D.C. in the United States, Valerie Dorset. From London in England, Mr. Dave Harris. And from Johannesburg, South Africa, Mr. Tabu Spanpool. Introducing the principals to you. Fighting out of the blue corner on my right, he weighed at 107.96 kilograms, 238 pounds. His record, 34 wins, 2 losses, 28 wins by way of knockout. He is in the black and red trunks, the former IBF Intercontinental Champion and undefeated former WBU Heavyweight Champion of the world from Baltimore, Maryland in the United States. Please welcome Hasim Rahman. Ladies and gentlemen, the referee for this fight from Turin in Belgium, Mr. Daniel van der Wielen. We get to the champion. He weighed in 114.99 kilograms, 253.5 pounds. His record of 38 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 29 wins by way of knockout. He's in the white trunks with red trim. He brings to the ring a gold medal from the 88 Olympic Games in Seoul, Korea. He brings to the the WBC, IBF, and IBO heavyweight world titles. He comes from West Ham in London, England, and he is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Lennox Lewis.
I saw a sign in Soweto the other day that said, Africa is not for sissies, dare to succeed. That's what this is about.
Heavyweight championship fights are not for sissies either. As the two fighters walked around listening to Duncan Pollock's introductions, Lennox Lewis leaned over and whispered to Emmanuel Stewart, who then went to the referee and asked asked him to go to Rahman's camp and have them lower his cup and his trunks. The referee did so. So already Lewis has one small victory before the fight begins. Now let's see if Rahman will try to out-jab the jabber, as he told us he thought he could.
Rahman starting off with his left jab to the body, which is what you want to do to make the taller man bend his waist a little more so you can jab him into the face. Then there is no reach advantage.
And as you pointed out, it's quite a challenge getting Lennox Lewis to come down and fight smaller. Among the big men in the sport, he is maybe the most adept at staying big, right, George?
That's a good way of saying it. Rahman's got to understand, look, you get in that ring with the heavyweight champion, you got to become the heavyweight champion yourself. For the first time, he's been introduced as the champion, but in that bell ring, it's as much yours as it is his championship. Rahman turns his head to the right when he jabs, and that's not a good idea with a right-hand puncher like Lennox Lewis. I can tell you that Fox have seen it. He saw him turn his head to the right when he jabbed.
One of the criticisms of Rahman through his career is that he's sometimes off balance after he throws, particularly after he throws the right hand, lifts the back foot, and gives his opponent a chance to counter. When Michael Grant did that kind of thing against Lennox Lewis in Madison Square Garden, Lewis made short work of him.
Rahman hasn't decided yet what kind of style he really would like to get into. I've actually seen him go southpaw, switch him. You do all these kind of things, that means you haven't decided what you can do, what you're good at.
Lewis lands a jab. Rahman comes with a right hand over the top of it.
Rahman seems very composed, given this is the biggest event of his life.
Done anything to make Lennox Lewis be a little self-conscious yet. If you're going to step in and be the shorter man with your left jab, you got to step in with all your might. Make his jab become a toothpick and yours a bowling ball.
Rahman stepping around Lewis's left there to tap Lewis on the face. Incidentally, if you have not seen The Rock before, he was once in a devastating traffic accident, which he survived to go with 500 stitches on his head. The right side of his face has a lot of scar tissue, but he has not had problems cutting in that area.
Lennox Lewis is not the kind of fighter who likes coming after you at all. He's a good counter puncher, and he prefers that his challengers come to him. That's why he's not reaching out as much yet.
I gave that round to Rahman.
Concentrate on your jab. Forget everything. You'll hit it with the right hand, but you'll see with the right time. Don't try to make it, okay? Work your jab. And what he's doing, he's jumping at me because with a couple of jabs, we kept it down. That's what I'm saying about it. Just keep working the jab, put a little more pressure on it now. You ain't got to be punching, just moving in a little bit more pressure. You store pressure a little bit more, he can fall apart. You let him rest too much.
Here you go, jab. Good, there you go. Looking good, champion. Just like that. And keep, every time you hit move, dip jab. Bang the right kidney inside, okay? Suck it in. Stay like that. Don't let things get you excited. Just stay like you are. Nice and relaxed. Suck it in. Suck it in again, woman. Good. Next step, go strong.
Here's Rahman, who threw so many jabs to the stomach in that round and then came up with one to the head. We remember a fight earlier in his career when Lennox Lewis had a lot of trouble with Frank Bruno, who was out jabbing him in the early parts of the fight.
Bruno won the first 5 rounds before Lewis landed a huge left hook in the 6th to turn it around and set up a knockout.
Lewis' corner told him not to be too anxious with the right hand. Just keep your jab going, and at least tried it, but he leaped in with the right hand. Rahman's corner was right. Don't try to win but one round at a time. Keep going back to your corner with one round in the bank for you.
CompuBox numbers in round 1. Lewis 12 out of 31. Rahman 12 out of 44. Almost all the landed punches were jabs. Right hand, left hook, another right hand by Lewis. First power punch combination of the fight.
If you're Lennox Lewis, you don't want to go a lot of rounds at 253 pounds. I can tell you that.
Lewis has told anyone who will listen here that he would knock Rahman out earlier.
His mouth is already open. I don't know if that's significant or not.
Lewis says that he would get Rahman in the first couple of rounds. Could be significant, as he may be trying to avoid going the distance here at 5,700 feet altitude.
That right uppercut was pretty close by Lennox Lewis. I also got Rahman thinking now, put that right hand on the side of your face when you jab, on the left side of your face.
Lewis's big weapon, of course, is his right cross. But he lands a lot of uppercuts when he's on his game. Uppercuts dominated his second fight against Evander Holyfield, helped him win the decision. Go ahead.
Rahman does not want to let Lennox Lewis get his left jab established. If he does, it's all over. Make him miss every time he throws the left jab. Make him miss, and then hit him with your jab.
Chopping right hand by Lewis. Landed in the area just below Rahman's ear. Lewis stopping Rahman with a jab there. Not reaching.
Lewis is trying to get him with that right hand, but he's going to have to just ease the left jab and then feint the right hand and come back with the hook. Almost feinted that time. He's going to feint the right hand and then do it with the hook.
Normally when Lewis is able to land his right hand effectively, it's because he set it up well with the jab. He likes to jab to the top of your head, try to get you to look down so that he's hiding his right hand from it.
That's not one hand you can hide.
Next Wednesday, another edition of On the Record with Bob Costas. Already this season, Bob's guest list has included musicians such as Bruce Springsteen, movie stars Ashley Judd, George Clooney, Tom Hanks, sports stars like Mark McGuire, Kobe Bryant. This week, he'll have Billy Crystal, the director of the movie 61 Asterisk, now playing on HBO, and also Ray Charles. It's live at 11 o'clock Eastern and Pacific.
This is the hour when the bush and in the swamps of southern Africa, the predators are out and about, and certainly in the second half of that last round, as you see there, Lennox Lewis looked like he was starting to go on the prowl.
You see, Lennox Lewis has been able to watch a lot of boxing matches, and he's seen that Rahman is able to be knocked down. And sometimes you don't concentrate on the other weakness that a fighter has. You just go after him with the power. Sometimes you just got to leave that knockout out of the video and study the fighter.
A good point, George. The knockout will come.
Two sharp, accurate jabs from Lewis there. Rahman reaching as he tries to get a right hand to the body.
Rahman's plan appears to be just stay in the fight, survive long enough, maybe something will happen.
Now he's able to get a left jab in.
And Lewis with an uppercut. Rahman tries an uppercut of his own in return. Rahman pounding Lewis's left bicep before the referee breaks him up.
That's a good left jab by Lennox Lewis, starting to work now.
Yeah, from the middle of the second round on, Lewis has gotten sharper and more prolific with the jab.
Well, Rahman's got this big target, the chest of Lennox Lewis, the stomach of Lennox Lewis. Forget about the head and just get what you can easily get there. He can land shot after shot if he wouldn't aim so high. and good for Rahman. Lennox Lewis, hands are low. All the things you want a heavyweight, a big heavyweight to do. Drop his hands, stand there, not moving his head. You got to take advantage of those things.
However, swelling under the left eye of Rahman already here in round 3, indicating that Lewis might have caught him with the right hand. Rahman gets to the body twice. Lewis throws him off. Lewis wild with the left. Rock goes back to pounding that bicep. Left hook to the body and a left behind it upstairs. That's a combination we haven't often seen Lennox throw. Double left hook.
Looking nice, looking good. Just what you're doing now. What you've added to your tag, you're showing more left hooks now, including the one where you caught him down because he's not looking for nothing underneath. Once you start shooting shots underneath, you hit it right on the chin because he don't land no. All he's doing is doing this on every move. Now you start to go to him more with shots down here. Then the right hand will land on the chin.
Let me have your right for just one second. Look over for a second. Stay there. Suck it in, Hasim. Keep moving the head and jabbing to the stomach and the head up and down with your jab to mix him up. And slam that right hand. Really slam it in there.
You see them working on Rahman's eye, just as Lennox Lewis was working on his eye during that round.
That was a left hook to the body, left hook upstairs combo with which Lewis finished the round. CompuBox numbers, you saw that Rock threw more. Lennox landed at a higher rate. Round 4 begins with a Lewis right hand. Wladimir, how do you have it through 3?
Okay, Jim, 29-28, 2 rounds to 1. Lennox Lewis. Jim, when you give the big heavyweight champion room to punch, he's brutal. That's what's happening here. Rounds 2 and 3. Lennox got a lot of room to punch. Lewis just like he is now.
The power punches of Lewis seemingly beginning to rock the Rock, and now Rahman comes back with aggression of his own.
You know, the bad thing about it for Lennox Lewis, he has no fear of Rahman's power. He isn't covered up at all. Rahman does keep his hands up. You must have fear.
Well, sometimes the way you deal with fear, George, is you attack.
Rahman is attacking.
Lewis with his hands at or below his waist. Rahman hits him with the right hand inside.
And it was a good right hand. It wasn't a lot of power on it, but it showed him that he can land it.
May encourage Lewis to keep his guard up a little bit more.
You know, the sad thing about it, Lennox Lewis can win this fight with his left hand. And I guess it's so easy, he doesn't want to believe it.
Maybe that's part, George, of underestimating your opponent and thinking you can go out and get him anytime you want, and so you don't work at it.
Don't work at it. He hasn't worked at doing what he can do easily. Do it all with your left jab. You got the height, you got the reach. Now snap your left jab if you're Lennox Lewis. And if you're Rahman, keep attacking. Make a fight out of it. You only get one of these good fights like this.
And another right hand does Rahman. And pops Lewis just above the ear in the clinch. Some pretty effective punching in round 4 by Hasim Rahman of Baltimore, Maryland, trying to bring the heavyweight championship of the world to the United States of America.
Evidently, Rahman's trainers know that he turns his head to his right when he jabs, so they make him put the right hand right next to his left side of his cheek.
Lewis targeting Rahman's swelling left eye with his jab.
Crowd is chanting Rahman, Rahman. When the underdog stays in there longer than you expect him to, when he performs a little better than you expect him to, he can win the drama of the fight and get the crowd on his side.
Lewis landed a punch below the belt, and Rahman attempted to retaliate immediately.
here and you stop. You get a left hook.
You can't
you pay your left hook. Watch it right. You start shooting the left hook, you're going to knock him out of here. Shoot the left hook. Just pick up on the left. And break off from your toes with the left hook.
Where's your left hook?
Over here, man. You want over there?
No,
I understand it.
Somebody tell that free head button. Okay, tell him. In and out. Big ones, baby. Big ones. In and out. Mr. Red! In and out. You gotta breathe. Deep breath.
Not so much the right hand.
Back to the point. Accidental crash of heads, okay? Accidental.
Well, you may have heard the referee Daniel Vandevila telling our Harold Letterman that the swelling in Rahman's left eye comes from an accidental butt. Harold Letterman asked if any point had been deducted. The answer was no. Only 17 jabs per round by Lewis by CompuBox numbers in the first 4 rounds, and that's fewer than Lennox would want to throw to be at his optimum. Frankly, he isn't throwing that many punches at all. He's been under 40 punches per round. Heavyweight average is around 40. In most of his best efforts, Lennox is much busier than that, sometimes 60 punches a round.
Rahman jabs to the left, to the body once or twice, then he comes up with that right hand. Lennox Lewis better be careful.
While Lewis hasn't been busy, he has been accurate, more accurate than Rahman. But that presents a classic quandary for the judges. Is the busier fighter better, or is the one who lands at a higher rate better?
Rahman blinked that right hand. He's having trouble seeing out of his left eye, it appears.
And Lewis goes to the body with the left hook. Trying to get Rock to bring his hands down, give him another shot at that swelling left eye.
You know you're fighting for the heavyweight championship of the world. If you start to bleed, so what?
So far,
your eyes start to close, so what?
Yeah, you got to go. That's right.
Don't make any looks. Don't touch your face. Keep fighting.
So far, Rahman has done a pretty good job of staying off the ropes and toward the center of the ring.
I don't like him touching his face like that.
His 2 disastrous moments, George, against Moskayev and Tua occurred when he had his back to the ropes. That momentarily stuns Lewis. Lewis smiling at him as a result.
Good right hand. That's what you got to do. You fighting for the title. You want the men's titles, go take it.
Excellent chopping right hand.
Lewis stopped jabbing. He can walk into some right hand. That's what's happening now. If you're going to walk into them and walk to the man, use your left jab.
Lewis with a jab right to the body. Left hook upstairs combination. Now he just fires the right hand.
Lennox Lewis is like a big cat.
Rahman jab, 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 jab. 4 of them. Chases Lewis across the ring. Shades of Oliver McCall. September 24, 1994. In London. Has Rahman put the upset he has? He got a brand new heavyweight champion, and he's from the United States.
Seriously, and the way he fought the fight, you could see he wasn't taking him seriously because he wasn't fighting his normal fight.
All week long you were thinking it was shades of Tokyo. There were reminders of Tokyo, Feb 10, 1990, everywhere as they prepared for this fight. Lewis clearly preoccupied with other things in his life. Rahman focusing on the business at hand.
All I can say is, for beautiful, spacious skies.
You like having an American heavyweight champion, George?
We can sing the national anthem again.
What a story as Hasim Rahman becomes the heavyweight champion of the world in one of the biggest upsets in the history of the division. A shot in the dark as Lewis stood there with his hands down and invited Rahman to hit him.
For Lennox Lewis, it was a crumble in the jungle, not a rumble in the jungle.
Larry, you better write some stuff down for us now. I'm shocked. I'm in shock.
Lewis spent 6.5 years rebuilding his reputation after the disaster against McCall. And now he lets it all come apart again.
He smiled and became more insolent and more lackadaisical and careless. Rahman got inside and hit him a terrific straight right hand.
Just a perfect shot.
He had not thrown many right hands through the fight. Lewis lived down to his preparation for the fight.
Absolutely.
He just drowned in Ocean's 11.
That's another brilliant line.
Drowned in Ocean 11.
How's he going to explain this to Brad Pitt, George Clooney, Julia Roberts, Matt Damon, and all of his co-stars on the movie?
He can tell them it was a stunt.
There's the stunt. A brilliant right hand by Rahman. George, you said overconfident before the fight. He showed it throughout the fight, didn't he?
And Rahman came in and became a local hero. The people cheered for him all the time.
Well, he spent more than a month here. He did what he was supposed to do to prepare for the one big chance in his life.
If you're not serious, do not come to Africa. You will get your title taken.
So here it is. It ranks right up there with James Braddock knocking out Max Baer.
Okay, that's
Don't worry, George. Braddock Baer.
Leave me be.
Cassius Clay beating Sonny Liston in Miami Beach, 1964. James Buster Douglas knocking out Mike Tyson in Tokyo. Here is a fight to go with those as one of the 4 biggest upsets in the history of the heavyweight division. And now let's go to Dalton Pollock for the announcement of a new heavyweight champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, you came to South Africa to see the thunder, and the storm has just broken. Ladies and gentlemen, the fight was stopped 2 minutes and 32 seconds into the 5th round. To our winner, the new WBC, IBO, and IBF heavyweight champion of the world from Baltimore, Maryland, in the United States, the new undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Hasim the Rock Rahman!
There's the jubilant Rahman. As we take a look at final CompuBox numbers, remember that only 2 punches in the end really mattered. The 2 huge right hands that Rahman landed to Lennox Lewis's chin in the 5th round. And you see the difference in activity. Rahman throwing 101 more punches in the fight because he was better conditioned, cared more, prepared the right way, and was ready tonight. Jabs, 38 out of 135 for Rahman. Lewis startlingly accurate at 51%, but only throwing 19 per round. Not enough to set up his power shots. Lewis again landing at a huge rate with his power punches, but Rahman threw almost exactly twice as many. In this instance, busier was better, busier won big. Let's go to Larry Merchant with the new champ.
Thank you, Jim. Congratulations, Rock. Tell us what happened in there. Why are you now the heavyweight champion of the world?
Oh, well, I kept my prayers in order. I kept my team right. I just want to say Allahu Akbar, Alhamdulillah, all praise to Allah. And I want to say to the state of Maryland, my mother can take her job and shove it. She ain't working there no more. And I just felt like, I told y'all the whole time I was here, I felt a sense of calm and confidence. I didn't get nervous, not one time since the fight was made. I wasn't nervous in the dressing room. My father made dua. Power dua is unbelievable. I felt like, he came out and tried to dictate the pace. And he has a very strong jab right in my hand. And I felt like...
Mark, let me ask a question in here. Let me get in a word edgewise.
Now, I'm the champion of the world now, Lord. You got to let me talk a little bit. Go ahead, Lord.
All right. Do you feel that the long preparation you did here in Africa as well as back in America is the reason that you had that calm and gave you an edge over him?
Well, I believe that I never really took an opponent serious to the fact where I thought he could beat me, except Lennox Lewis. I felt like if I didn't train properly, he would have the edge. I kept my prayers in order, I did all my training, and I came up into it. You see, one punch power with the right hand. I mean, give me some props.
Let's see. All right, let's take a look at the one punch and tell us what was happening. Did that punch earlier in the round set this up?
Well, I felt like, that should be rated R. Anyway, I felt like we accidentally headbutt, and he tried to take advantage of me. Much the same like Floyd Sanders when I was wiping my eye. They try to come get me. When they see me, like I feel like I'm vulnerable, so they come try to get me. And when they come try to get me, a hurt man is a dangerous man. So when they come get me, I just, alhamdulillah, let it go.
What was your plan coming into the fight? Because it seemed that you came out and threw about 8 or 10 jabs to his stomach in the first round.
Well, I wanted to hit him to the body, and I felt like the longer the fight goes, regardless of whether we was in altitude or not, that I have a very, very strong jab. Anybody can attest to that. You've been in the ring with me. And I knew it would take its toll on me. There's no excuses. We didn't get into the later rounds like everybody predicted. I wouldn't have a chance from 1 through 5. What round was it, number 5?
His mouth was open as early as the second round. Did that signal to you that he was having a problem?
Well, I know Lennox Lewis is a very cagey veteran. He got Emmanuel Stewart in his corner. Everybody was talking about the altitude. He could have been trying to bait me in. So I wasn't really paying attention to that.
So now you showed him why he needed a return match clause in the contract.
Well, it don't make me any difference. I'm going to stay with my prayers, stay with the right faith. I believe that power do stand in my faith. I mean, as long as I continue to be in this boxing game, I'm going to have a measure of success, inshallah. Allahu Akbar.
What next?
Well, I'm going to leave it to you, I'd like to come back to South Africa and defend the people of South Africa. I love South Africa. Rodney Berman, Southern Christian. Bring me back. Let's do it again. I love South Africa.
All right. You love South Africa so much. We want to show a little bit more of the fifth round. The right hand that seemed to set up the later sequence that came in and led to the knockout blow. Did you feel that he was just posturing at the end there when he was making believe that you hadn't hurt him at all?
No, I felt like I believe that when I hit somebody, I hurt him. What degree, I'm not sure. But I was going to keep to my game plan unless I was out cold. That's the thing. I'm going to fight until I'm out cold. You know that, Larry. That's why y'all bring me back, because you know I'm going to fight, regardless of who y'all put me in the ring with. No Lennox and Tyson! No Lennox and Tyson! No Lennox and Tyson! Hey, I'll fight Tyson. We can bring Tyson right here in South Africa. And I'd like to give props to my man, my trainer, Adrian Frenchie Davis, giving the man his first title loss in the heavyweight championship fight. Steve Nelson, Stan Hoffman. Oh, yes. Mac Lewis also. Much props to Mac Lewis, first gym I ever went to. I got you, Mr. Mac. Respect, man. Respect. Baltimore, number 1. Love y'all. Hey, Mel Malley, get it ready for me.
All right, we're going to roll this tape because we want people to see the early right hand in that round, which perhaps 20 or 30 or 40 seconds goes. Describe what you see.
Well, I know Lennox, it felt like I was cut. I thought he was coming on. I felt like that was a good right hand. But like I said, he didn't come right back when I was spent around. So I felt like I might have stunned him a little bit. But Lennox in shape, it's KG veteran. I wasn't sure. So, you can't take too many chances with a guy like Lennox. A great champion, take nothing away from him. And we can do it again.
Thank you very much, champ. And thank you, Lennox. Lennox, when all is said and done, did you take him too lightly?
No, not really. This is what happens in heavyweight boxing. You get caught with a good shot. If you don't beat the count, they stop the fight. Simple as that. But there's always a next time. You know what I mean?
But surely something led to what happened at the end. Did you think he would be in there that long with you? Was he bothering you with his jabs to your body?
Yeah, no, I felt good in there. This is what happens in heavyweight boxing. If you run into a shot and you don't beat the count, they stop the fight. But I felt real...
Wait. You say they run in heavyweight boxing. In any boxing, they're going to stop the fight if you don't beat the count.
Well, you know what? It was a good shot. Cranmer with a good shot. I was coming in throwing a punch at the same time. And, you know, he just connected with his punch.
All right, you yourself admitted that if you were fighting somebody you thought was a more dangerous opponent, you might have been here earlier. That weight that you had on is a window into your preparation and into your mentality about defending your title, isn't it?
No, not at all. I felt great going in there. You know, my shape never showed at all in the fight. It's the situations, if both are going in with a right hand, one of them has to connect, and it so happens that his right hand connect. I never beat the count, simple as that. I felt good. You know, this is what happens in heavyweight boxing.
All right, let's take a look at the replay, and you tell us. You seem to think you were going to get out of that round after the first right hand hit you. You were smiling at him, and suddenly he had you on your right, on your ropes.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell he got through with a great right hand. My back was against the ropes. You know, great right hand. He caught me right on the chin. I went down. I never beat the count. They stopped the fight. Simple as that.
Have you been thinking too much of Mike Tyson?
No, absolutely not. Like I said, there's no fight unless I get past Hasim Rahman, and you know, he came with a great shot. Didn't beat the count, but there's always a next time. You know, he threw that right hand. He didn't even know where I was.
Did he look easy to you in the fight?
Well, I was doing what I needed to do. You know, I was getting to him with the jabs. I was just walking him down. He came in with a left right, and I missed blocking it with my jab, and he got through. Simple as that. As you can see, I was walking after him. I was chasing him.
Were you trying to land too many big punches?
No, not really. I was trying to get in there and to definitely get him out. I felt that he was definitely getting weak as the fight went on. I just wanted to get in there with my jab. Can't even believe that.
Were you surprised at his composure in the fight? That he seemed to be calm and just trying to do whatever he could do?
Yeah, I mean, he was trying to land that big overhand right, and just so happens, he did. He got through. I missed it with my left hand. That's the hand that I usually block his right hand with, but it happened to get through, and he caught me on the chin. I went down, but I'll be back again. There's no way Hasim can beat me twice.
So you do have a rematch clause in your contract, and you do want the rematch?
Definitely want the rematch. You know, I felt good after I got up. I thought I beat the count, but you know, the referee felt that the fight should have been stopped. But you know, Hasim Rahman's the champion today.
It's my understanding that in your contract he can fight one more fight before taking the rematch. Is that correct, as you understand it?
No, well, I don't know about that, but I definitely know there's a rematch clause, and you know, second time around, Hasim Rahman is going to be down.
Thank you very much, champ.
Cool along the strip as Wladimir Klitschko and Lamon Brewster prepare to leave their dressing rooms and come into the ring for a significant heavyweight fight. 1 year ago, Wladimir Klitschko entered a ring in Hanover, Germany to such gushing appreciation, you would have thought he was some kind of Central European god. 20 minutes later, he stood in that ring and conducted post-fight interviews amid the unanimous hissing and booing of all 20,000 fans there. It was an astonishing and rapid come-down for Klitschko, and it's the moment to which he now tries to react as he goes into the ring again.
From nothing to everything, it's a long way.
And the next big thing is about to become the last big bust.
From everything to nothing is just one step.
And the referee stops the fight, and thus ends the Wladimir Klitschko Express. 13 months ago, Wladimir Klitschko, the seemingly obvious heir apparent to the heavyweight throne, was taught a brutal lesson by huge underdog Quarry Sanders.
I used to believe on that. That's, you know, I'm a great champ, so I'm the next one. I'm on the way, and I'll get everything what I want. I was really not down to earth.
Now Klitschko faces a challenge familiar to heavyweights, that of resurrecting his career after a devastating knockout defeat.
Wladimir Klitschko sort of viewed himself as many of these guys do, really invincible. You know, no one was going to hurt him. He was in the hurt business. The other guy was in the receiving business.
I was never losing this way, never in sparring. I was never hitting sparring, never by amateurs, and I used to have success all my life.
Suddenly, you know, you're on the floor, you get up, you're on the floor again, you're up, you're on the floor again, so it has to put doubt in your mind.
After the fight, I don't want to hear anything about boxing, I don't want to do anything, and I take a break for 3 months. And then we start to prepare for Vitaly's next fight. So I start to train with Vitaly, and when I hit the heavy back with a couple shots, I just got a feeling like I'm starving for boxing.
With highly regarded American trainer Freddie Roach working in tandem with longtime German coach Fritz Sedunek, Klitschko embarked on the comeback trail, scoring 2 confidence-restoring victories over unambitious opposition.
I think his confidence was a little bit down, but it was getting better and better as we went along. So, you know, I think pretty much he was over by the time we fought the second fight.
Ultimately, Roach and Team Klitschko parted ways. At the same time, Wladimir set his sights on a living legend who just happened to have become available.
I was always told Lennox, I say, if it wasn't for Helen you, I would be working with the Klitschko brothers.
Enter Emanuel Stewart, longtime admirer of Wladimir Klitschko, and the man who helped Lennox Lewis recover from his own shocking knockout losses to Oliver McCall and Hasim Rahman.
Wladimir Klitschko has always been, I thought, the most talented heavyweight that has come along in many, many years. Not only is Wladimir a physically big kid, but extremely well coordinated and has a lot of skills that are very unusual for a man to be as tall as he is.
Emanuel Stewart used to work with tall guys. He used to work with a lot of big champions. And this experience, what he has, I have to profit from that.
While Fritz Sedunek remains Wladimir's conditioning coach, Klitschko's boxing education is now strictly the domain of Emanuel Stewart. His job is to get the most out of the fighter's vast physical potential.
He has not learned to do certain things to utilize his height completely. Even me, I can fight you from here, but when you're like this here, I cannot. And to pick up his attack, because his attack basically now is based on jab, jab, and a good right hand. You have a great left hook. You don't throw your left hook, you have just like a snake. You do it, bang, you have a beautiful left hook. Those are the things I'm working on. But he's a pleasure to work with because he's anxious to learn.
Just little points can decide a lot.
Holyfield comes at Lennox, and Lennox makes that one move. Step, step, bam!
I believe that Emanuel Stewart can give it to me.
One of your best punches is your jab hook right hand. That's going to be one of your best punches, believe me.
I love boxing. Of course, in each area you have to get a result for what you're working, a target for what you're working. And the target is to be a champion in the heavyweight.
Tonight, as the Klitschko-Stewart marriage begins in earnest, the target of the boxing world is simple. Has Wladimir Klitschko put that devastating knockout behind him? Back live at ringside at the Mandalay Bay with Roy Jones. Roy, a year ago, you couldn't find many American heavyweights who wanted to fight Wladimir Klitschko. Now they are waiting in line. If the premise is that a fatal flaw has been exposed, is there a way for him to hide it or to get around it in such a way that it's not going to damage his career?
Well, it's very difficult to hide a suspect chin. If it's suspect, it's just going to be just that. So if his chin is suspect, we will find out somewhere down the line, even possibly tonight.
Does Lamon Brewster hit hard enough to threaten him in the same way Corey Sanders did?
Yes, he does. But this time I think he's ready for it.
Well, we shall see. Certainly as we get ready to watch Wladimir try to show the new chops that he's learned from Emanuel Stewart. Meanwhile, as we get ready to talk to Larry Merchant, let's observe one historic precedent here, and that is that Lamon Brewster, in waiting for the past year for the stars to be right to take a heavyweight fight, lost his trainer and father figure Bill Slayton. A few weeks ago in Los Angeles at a news conference, he demonstrated the emotion which has attached to that loss.
He wanted me to be the heavyweight champion of the world, so Unless God got other plans for me, this man gonna have to kill me. No disrespect to him, but he gonna have to kill me. Because I will be heavyweight champion of the world.
All right, so, yeah.
The precedent goes back to Tokyo 1990 when Buster Douglas, in the wake of having lost his mother a few weeks before the fight, came up with the effort of a lifetime and upset Mike Tyson. Larry, Lamon Brewster likes to think that just as was the case for Douglas in Tokyo, the loss of a loved one can bring him to fulfilling his potential tonight. How much potential is that?
Well, he looks like Joe Louis against ordinary opponents, and Joe Blow against opponents who are a little better than that. And he's never fought on Wladimir Klitschko's level. But he can punch, he has skills, and he's never been knocked down, which makes you wonder, why couldn't his late trainer Bill Slayton, who trained Ken Norton once to the title, unable to bring out the best in him while he was alive? And incidentally, Jim, Wladimir mentioned that the Sanders knockout was to him like a death. So I think we can assume that this is fairly important to both fighters.
Couldn't be much more important than that. We shall see what happens when they get into the ring. Meanwhile, let's look at the tail of the tape, and you will see the one big dimension advantage for Wladimir right away. He's 3 years younger than Brewster. Most significantly, he's 5 inches taller. But with only a 1-inch arm length advantage, measured from the armpit to the end of the fist, Wladimir is also 17 pounds heavier than Lamon Brewster coming into the ring. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Wladimir Klitschko-Lamon Brewster fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. There is no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. In case the cut is caused by an accidental headbutt, we go to the scorecards after 4 rounds have been completed, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the 12th and final round. Jim.
All right, thank you very much, Harold. Wladimir Klitschko walks in first. As we mentioned in the feature piece, 2 fights since the loss to Corey Sanders, both against relatively unambitious opposition. Wladimir and his brother Vitaly have moved more or less full-time to Los Angeles. The addition of Emmanuel Stewart to the stable, all part of trying to become more like American heavyweights. How important, Roy, is that to them?
I think this is very important because it does away with that European style, that straight-up stance, which I think really hurt Wladimir in his fight against Corey Sanders. Now they're here in the United States so they can learn how to do a little bit more moving from side to side or lateral movement and mount them a different attack. So I think this will help them a lot.
The way he put the question that he feels everybody is asking of him now is, am I a sissy? And when we asked him for the answer, he said, that's a conversation I'm having with myself. In other words, I'll show it to you in the ring.
Well, the people who came in and bet late on Brewster must think that that conversation remains unresolved. As of yesterday this time, Wladimir was about a 10-to-1 betting favorite in the fight. As of earlier this afternoon, it was down to about 4-to-1. So obviously there were scads of Brewster money pouring into the sports book this afternoon. Klitschko not exactly reflecting a ton of energy in the ring. Now here comes Lamon Brewster, terrifically nice young man, born in Los Angeles, ultimately moved to Indianapolis, Indiana. And during this 1 year of inactivity, he twice agreed to fight Corey Sanders for the off-brand title belt that Sanders holds. And ultimately, when that fell through, agreed to fight David Tua as well. None of those fights took place, thus the long stint of inactivity off which he comes into this fight.
He insists that he can punch harder than Corey Sanders. I don't know how he knows that, but if it's true, then anything is possible because Corey Sanders is a very serious heavyweight puncher.
However, if you're wondering why Wladimir Klitschko was at one point a 10-to-1 favorite, you note that Lamon Brewster lost to Clifford Etienne and to Charles Schubert, neither of whom is going to win any heavyweight popularity contest. And Schubert was an easy victim to Klitschko here in Las Vegas a couple of years ago. So they're both in the ring now. Let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Mandalay Bay of Las Vegas, Nevada, USA, Don King Productions is proud to present 12 rounds of boxing for the vacant WBO Heavyweight Championship of the World. Sponsored by CM Exchange and brought to you in association with Universum Boxing and in association with Bird Galata, HBO pay-per-view, April 17th. Sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Chairman John Bailey, Executive Director Mark Ratner. The 3 judges in attendance at ringside scoring this on the 10-point must system will be Dwayne Ford from the United States, Jerry Roth, also from the United States, and Paul Thomas from England. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge, working in a world title bout for the 65th time, Robert Byrd. And now, from the Mandalay Bay of Las Vegas, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing gold trimmed with black and officially weighing 226 pounds. He has an excellent professional record, 31 bouts, 29 victories, including 26 knockouts with only 2 defeats. And he dedicates this night to Bill Slayton. From Los Angeles, California, the NABO heavyweight champion and WBO #2 ranked heavyweight in the world, relentless Lamon Brewster. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing red, and his official weight is 243 pounds. His professional record stands at 44 bouts with 42 victories, including 39 knockouts against only 2 defeats. From Kiev, Ukraine, the #1 WBO heavyweight contender and former WBO heavyweight world champion, the Steel Hammer, Dr. Wladimir Klitschko.
All right, gentlemen, I gave you instructions in the dressing room. The only thing I'm going to tell you now is when I tell you to stop, that means stop whatever you're doing. Give me a clean break. Protect yourselves at all times. Obey my commands at all times. This is a championship fight. I expect a championship effort. Let's do it.
Wladimir Klitschko is gone from the next big thing to the last big bust to the next what? That's what we've come here to see.
There's a guy in Brewster's corner who's painted his face green. I wonder if it's meant to signify money. There'll be some of it available if he can win this fight.
Well, there's a big lotto ticket across the ring.
There you go. Not as big a lotto ticket. So Emmanuel thought that the first round here might be similar to Mike Tyson against Lennox Lewis in Memphis, where he knew that Tyson would come out and try to swarm Lennox right away.
And that's what Brewster better keep doing, because if he stays outside, he doesn't have a chance.
And there's the left hook, which helps to set Vladimir's offensive skills apart from those of so many other heavyweights. So many big heavyweights, Roy, only throw the 1-2. Wladimir Klitschko has a good left hook.
Yeah, he does, and he has very good hands. He uses both hands well for a big heavyweight, and that's different.
Don't push. Let's go. Let's go.
That was different, too.
That may have just scared the rest of the fight out of Brewster.
You know, you don't see a lot of European fighters do something like that.
Stop. Don't spend it.
They don't do that much either. So we see that the Americanization of Wladimir Klitschko is indeed underway. There are moments here that clearly have come straight out of his gym experience in Los Angeles. And the left hook lands again.
And he hasn't even thrown it right yet. One time.
I'm not sure that Lamon has actually landed a clean punch so far.
Let's go. He hasn't, and I don't think he'll get a chance to like this.
Klitschko gets the jab and the left hook going and rocks Brewster back.
Yeah, he won't get a chance to land a punch fighting outside. There's no way he can win this fight from outside.
This becomes target practice at that range. And if Lamon Brewster's going to stand out there, it won't last.
No time at all.
So he throws a low blow and hits Wladimir well below the belt. Klitschko going back to work with the left hand. Jab, left hook, jab again.
Brewster's taken some pretty severe shots, and he's still active.
Yeah, but he has to land some pretty severe shots to get some respect.
Right. And he hasn't really taken a big right hand yet.
Let's go.
Wladimir certainly having fun establishing his left, though, isn't it?
Yes, he is. That's a good jab hook by Wladimir.
Oh, stop! I got you. Step out, step out. That's all.
Relatively easy round for Wladimir Klitschko, except for having to fend off those big leaps.
I scored that a two-point round for Klitschko. Brewster hardly did anything and caught a lot of punches.
Now he's slowing down. You're doing just right. Just keep it. Now he slows down more after the next round. Then you keep working. Left hooks is working good. Just keeping him off balance, and then right keeps through the right hands. Good round. I know he's a little physical, won't be as much anymore. Yeah.
Relax, baby.
Relax. You're trying too hard to get in there.
Yeah.
Too hard. Yeah.
Just, slip. But when you get in, let the ones go. Touch them. And then open up all the doors, okay? Okay?
Go with defensive mind, man. You got to train your ass when you get there, okay? Okay. Stay relaxed.
Here you see Wladimir using that long jab there. He faked the jab and hit Brewster with a hook and followed it with a beautiful straight right cross. If Brewster stays out on the end, he's going to taste this all night long.
Well, he certainly took a lot of punishment in that round, and it speaks well for his conditioning and determination, but he can't take too much of that.
Well, you heard Sadid Saluki, the trainer in Brewster's corner, saying you got to get inside. They seemed fairly calm about what happened in round one. Obviously, Emmanuel Stewart was very pleased. Again, Wladimir Klitschko holds Brewster, and this is something that he simply wasn't even thinking of doing a year ago.
The Klitschkos thought that tactical holding was almost illegal.
Dishonorable.
Good hook by Brewster.
Yes. Lamon Brewster lands his first solid shot of the fight.
I'm impressed by the usage of his jab. That's what a tall fighter should do. He should use that jab just like he's doing his left hand. That's a beautiful weapon he's using.
Now Klitschko whacks a right cross on the side of Brewster's face.
Let's go.
After popping him several times with the jab, CompuBox numbers in round one found Klitschko throwing 55 jabs when he wasn't throwing Brewster off of it.
Brewster turning the hands to loose.
Hard left hook to the body by Brewster. Wladimir didn't seem to like it all that much. Nobody does.
Don't lean on it. Let's go.
I tell you what, too. Brewster has to stop letting Wladimir lean his weight down on him like he's doing. He's making Brewster tired.
Let's go.
This is something of which Lennox Lewis has been a master over the years, using his giant body to simply wear opponents down by leaning on them. Brewster got another left hook to the body. Klitschko chased him across the ring, wanting to throw a right hand.
Don't lean on him. Don't lean on him.
That Klitschko jab is a beautiful weapon tonight.
Target practice. Pounding Brewster's face with the jab. Brewster still trying to get at that Wladimir body with the big left hook that he's landed twice to the ribcage in this round. Klitschko stepping back. and then setting up to throw the jab again.
I think he's throwing those soft shots to the body to try to bring Klitschko's guard down so he can shoot a right hand over the top. I think he's trying to set a trap.
Good left hook by Klitschko, faking the jab again and throwing the left hook. One more time he does it. Now the straight right hand, and another straight right hand lands flush. Better round for Brewster, but still a very easy round for Wladimir Klitschko's big left hand.
That's all.
Giving him too much time.
On April 24, older brother Vitaly Klitschko stakes his claim to the heavyweight championship against Corey Sanders, the man who beat younger brother Wladimir. Also that night, former 147-pound champion Vernon Forrest will take on Teddy Reed as he moves up to 154.
Okay, don't let him do that. Keep touching him, feigning, go, but you got to keep going forward. Staying low and going forward, all right?
Beautiful fight. And you're wearing him out. You've been very physical with him, so he's starting to get tired now. Good fight. Perfect.
Klitschko
left jab is
clearly ahead, but he has a tendency sometimes to be over-aggressive and wear himself out. So he's got to be careful of that.
Part of what happened in the Ross Purity fight, where he simply ran out of gas.
He just punched himself out.
That may be what Brewster's waiting on.
Brewster tries to shoot the left hand to the body again.
Yeah, but you don't want the guy to punch himself out on you.
Don't do that.
Wladimir once again gets his big body over the back of Brewster and leans on him. Robert Byrd says, don't do it. But the damage is done. He almost did it again.
Yeah.
Now, Roy, fight people worry about a guy's being gun shy after losing a big knockout. Do you see any sign of that?
No, he's not showing any sign of being gun shy. He's very comfortable right here in front of Brewster. He's not running from the punch. That was a good shot.
Big left hook on the face, and he was hurt. Brewster got to Wladimir's weak chin.
Yeah, his legs are hurt very bad. Now you may see some panicking.
He holds and clinches as Brewster goes to his body. Wladimir starting to get some of his senses back, but he was clocked by the big left hook.
Because he's straight up in the air waiting again.
That's what people wanted to see.
And he seems to be getting tired now.
Hard not to get tired when you're that big, right?
Yes, it is.
Break, step out. Let's go.
Brewster may be pulling a cagey game here.
If he can just stay composed.
He got in the one big shot. Klitschko goes back to firing the jab. So the danger is established as Klitschko did not handle the left hook well.
What's impressive about Brewster so far is that he's able to take those shots.
That's what's impressing me.
Yeah, 1-2 by Klitschko. Brewster takes it well, comes back with a right hand of his own.
If Brewster continues to take these shots, though, it's going to start to take Vitaly's confidence. Vladimir's confidence, my bad.
That's okay, I had the wrong Spinks earlier.
I'm just going to start calling him Klitschko.
Well, Roy, somebody may have to fight one up. You better know who they are.
Got it? Let's go.
Well, if his chin is like that, I think he'll stay away from me.
Too big a punch, huh?
Yeah. Good shot.
Hard right hand shot by Klitschko. Brewster's game isn't to try to win rounds, obviously.
Come on out, Lamon.
And Shadid Saluki, Brewster's trainer, went into the middle of the ring to try to tell referee Robert Byrd he's not happy with him allowing Wladimir to lean over and hold Lamon Brewster.
You're hitting him good. Pretty soon you go with the uppercut. Yeah.
You gotta, if your hands are free inside, use them. You hold it. Don't hold too much.
You want
head, body, head. And let your jab. Double the jab up. He get underneath the right hand, hit him with a left hook. When he ducked under the right hand, hit him with a left hook.
Here you see Brewster playing a little possum to get himself close enough to sneak this left hand lead in. And really good jab. That wasn't even a left hook. So had it been a left hook, it would have done much more damage.
What you're saying is he almost knocked him wobbly with a jab.
Right. Then you see Klitschko come up with that long 1-2 and bring that right hand right down the pipe on Brewster. And Brewster cannot continue to get hit with that punch.
How do you have it through 3?
You know, Jim, I'll tell you something. To me, Wladimir Klitschko got hurt so bad in the beginning of the 3rd round, I gave it to Lamon Brewster. I mean, he really got wobbled, and that's all there is to it. I mean, he jabbed beautifully the rest of the round. I mean, you couldn't take the last 2 minutes of the round away from him, but certainly he got hurt badly in the beginning of the round. 2-1, Wladimir Klitschko, and Robin Bird has won these 2 guys for everything under the sun. Incredible job by Robin Bird.
Well, at last I found somebody to disagree with as much as I used to disagree with George Foreman. One punch does not a round make when you get hit so many punches in return, Harold.
That's your way of saying you scored the round for Wladimir. Oh, huge right hand by Klitschko. Brewster can take a shot.
He really is impressing me the way he's taking all these shots tonight. But he better stop taking this many shots because it's going to wear him down sooner or later.
Don't push. Don't push. Let's go.
Bird tells Wladimir not to push.
Oh, good left
hand to the body by Brewster.
That was a good left body shot by Brewster.
Blood on Brewster's nose.
But the way Wladimir took the body shot tells you his chin is weaker than his stomach.
Yes, sir. He's not thinking about that body shot.
He doesn't have a glass body. Is that what you're trying to say?
Doesn't have glass ribs. Tried to get in an uppercut, threw it from too far away.
Good right hand.
Good chopping right hand.
Oh, down on Brewster. Left hook.
Not going to be ruled a knockdown because Bird is going to say that Wladimir simply threw him down. But Brewster's wobbly on his legs.
That was a knockdown.
I agree with you.
Straight right hand by Wladimir Klitschko.
There's another one.
And here comes a knockdown.
There's another one. I told you he would wear down from all those punches sooner or later.
5, 6, 7.
Can't continuously get hit by a big man like that.
There's a lot of time left in this round, and Brewster has no legs. Klitschko did a good job of bodying him off to get in another right hand.
Yes, he did. I don't care how tough you are. You don't want to let a big man continuously punish you like this.
Another hard shot to the body by Brewster. He got one in. Vladimir's just looking to land one big right hand and put him through the ropes.
Yeah, but Vladimir better be careful not to punch himself out. He knows he's a victim of being punched out.
Getting his consciousness back a little bit, and the danger arises for Klitschko that he gets hit with a big counter. Bird pulls him off again after Klitschko landed one more little right hand. Brewster's going to make it out of the ring as they tackle each other in the corner. What a round.
Tie him up. Fall inside and grab him. Okay? Okay? Okay?
We see what you're doing now. We see you trying to jab with him. That's why he's sitting there. That lead left foot. Don't do the lead left foot.
Get your head to move. Pop, 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 pop. Okay?
Get your left hook, turn it hard. Okay? It's a good fight. You won him around. He's tired now.
Here you see Klitschko land a straight right lead, and boom, there's a hook that hurt Brewster. Can't really tell if it was a flush shot or not. Oh, that was a great right hand by Klitschko that did drop Brewster right behind the jab that he's been landing all night long.
So there might have been 2 knockdowns in the round. As it is, one is ruled official. What, Larry?
Well, I was just wondering how brave Brewster's corner is. I know this is the opportunity of a lifetime, and a heavyweight always has a chance. But he's taking a tremendous amount of punishment in this fight.
Go time. Let's go. Let's go.
5 of a scheduled 12.
After all, it is a fight, and you have to remember that Klitschko does tire. And that's why I think his corner is willing to gamble.
There's significant swelling outside the right eye of Wladimir Klitschko from one of Brewster's left hands or more. But meanwhile, Wladimir continues to land power shots against a Lamon Brewster who really doesn't have craft at this moment. Another right hand shot.
Oh, that's going to do it sooner or later. So hopefully somebody will step in.
Nobody can take this.
Nah, he's not going to continuously take this.
Stop. Let's go.
But now, Klitschko is relaxing. He thinks this is pure target practice. So maybe Brewster's trying to set him up.
Again.
I wouldn't want to set anybody up by taking those shots. But I guess that's what a prize fighter does.
Yeah, you don't box.
I mean, Roy makes an interesting point because look how lazy Klitschko is with his hands now.
Exactly. All Lamon has to do is land that big punch and
Vladimir's not defending himself at all.
Because he's not worried. A hook right off of Vladimir's hook right there would have ended the fight. And now Brewster seems to be covering up a little better.
And Klitschko once again is tired, breathing with his mouth open. You throw this many punches, it'll wear you out. There's another huge right-hand shot, and Brewster keeps coming.
Why won't he throw his own shots back, though?
Crowd's starting to like the fight as Brewster matches Klitschko's rights with a couple of lefts.
Klitschko's dead tired. That's his Klitschko's eye.
Oh, that's a huge left hook, and Vladimir's in trouble now. We've got a slugfest going, and Wladimir Klitschko once again in trouble. And Robert Byrd. 4, 5. Is that a standing 8 count?
Yes, Klitschko is dead.
He said no, it was not a standing 8 count. He ruled that because he went into the ropes as hard as he did, it was a knockdown.
Now Klitschko is dead tired. He doesn't even want it anymore. He's done. He will not make it out of these rounds.
Klitschko's German trainer Fritz Zadunik said that if Wladimir got knocked out by Lamon Brewster, he should quit boxing.
Well, he better quit there because he's already been out here. He can't come back. He has no punching power. His hands are gone. He does not know how to fight like this. This is one of his big things. He can't fight this type of a fight. This is not what Wladimir knows.
And is he going to call that a knockdown?
It should be.
No, it's not a knockdown. It happened after the bell.
And now Robert Byrd stops the fight. Robert Byrd takes a look at Wladimir Klitschko and decides he can't continue and stops the fight. And that may be the end of the Wladimir Klitschko heavyweight contender story.
Well, it probably is. He punched himself out early. Remember, we talked about as early as the second and third rounds that he looked tired. He was he was throwing a tremendous number of punches, and he let Brewster off the hook somehow in the last round while he was tired.
And Lamon Brewster gets the win of a lifetime on a night when it looked as though he couldn't conceivably survive the beating he was taking.
A combination of fatigue, and now we have to say it, a weak chin for a heavyweight.
Very.
You know, we've had some heavyweights, a lot of heavyweights with great chins, a few of them with good chins, but you can't fight in this weight class unless you have at least a good chin.
Wladimir's chin makes Lennox Lewis look like granite. I didn't think I'd ever see that.
It's not so much of his chin as it is his heart, though. He's like a dog that can't fight from the bottom.
This is a guy who won an Olympic super heavyweight gold medal, who was as good as any amateur boxer in the world, who rose rapidly in the pros. Did he succeed too much too soon to have heart?
Nope, he did not. He just never had it. It's just that he was so big, you never got a chance to see him fight from the downside.
Do you think his older brother Vitaly has a markedly different personality?
He has to not to uphold the family image or else he'll be disgraced.
So here's another look at how Lamon Brewster ultimately set a trap and defused Wladimir Klitschko. There's how Klitschko finished the round, and Robert Byrd waited for him to try to make it back to the corner. And when Wladimir finally got up after about 15 or 20 seconds, as brother Vitaly rooted for him to come to the corner, Byrd looked at him and waved his arms. That was that. So Lamon Brewster gets a win in a fight in which he took a monstrous beating.
Yes, he did. A real monstrous beating.
And Don King has a smile as wide as the Strip in Las Vegas. Brewster right now is praying and is also remembering his trainer and father figure, Bill Slayton, who died within the past year and whom he loved dearly.
And I bet Bill Slayton is very proud of him now. And it took something like that for him to maintain his focus through all he went through. Had it not been for losing someone close to him, just as Buster Douglas did, he would not have sustained this much punishment tonight.
Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official particulars.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at the Mandalay Bay, referee calls a halt to the contest. The official time is at the end of the 5th round. It is a TKO. The winner, with dedication to the memory of Bill Slayton, and now WBO heavyweight champion of the world, relentless Lamon Brewster.
Total punches in the fight. Wladimir Klitschko landing 120 out of 311. Maybe he threw too many. Lamon Brewster landing 43 out of 158.
You're right, he did throw too many punches, and that's why I said when he said maybe they should stop the fight. No, don't stop the fight, because Klitschko has a history of tiring. He put out too many punches in that round not to finish Lamon Brewster off. You know he didn't have no more than a round left in him after that.
And he's power punches, and you can see that these numbers at this point mean nothing, other than that the last few power punches Brewster threw and landed were the difference in the fight.
There you go.
In the ring, the Brewster celebration has gone on for quite some time, but now Larry has the winner.
Other night, but you know it will be. You can rest assured that. You can rest assured that.
All right, thank you. There's a lot of chaos, happy chaos in this part of the ring. So I didn't hear your call, Jim. Congratulations, Lamon. I guess the question that comes to our mind is, you took so much punishment until the end. What kept you going? How did you keep standing?
Now, do you believe in God? I told you, when God chooses a man.
No, what you told us was that you would do this for Bill Slayton. So I guess put the question another way. The kind of conditioning and determination you had, does that come from that kind of desire?
That goes back to God. Bill's a spirit because of God. But this is what I want to tell you. The reason why I endured a lot is because I looked at his tapes.
Excuse me. If you guys don't shut up, I'm going to stop this interview, okay?
Sorry.
We're not interviewing you. We're interviewing the fighter who just won a big fight.
Sorry, they're just excited.
Excuse me.
What I want to say is that I know he's a tough guy, okay? I know he can punch. But what I wanted to do was show that Americans don't lay down. You hit us, and we just keep going, man. You know what I'm saying? That's how the world was won. I endured. I knew he would get tired. Maybe he'd get tired of hitting me, but he was gonna get tired of me coming to him, standing in his face, putting pressure on him. I could have did a lot better job. But hey, I've been off for a year and a month now.
Was it part of your thinking going into the fight that if I can withstand him, that he'll get tired and I'll still be there?
No. I told you in the interview, I would be formless. I wouldn't say what I would do going in, because if it didn't work, then you'd be lost. I went in there and said, okay, this didn't work. Okay, this didn't work. Oh, I hear him breathing hard. He's close to me. I'm starting to touch him to the body. I start touching him with jab.
When did you start to hear him breathe hard?
Let him get his
second round, I started hearing him. He hit me with some good shots, and he saw that no matter what he hit me with.
Be quiet, be quiet.
All right, but then you get knocked down in the fourth. You get knocked down in the fourth round, and you barely made it out of it. What were you feeling at that?
I was gonna get up. I told you he's gonna have to kill me to beat me. He didn't have enough to kill me, so he got beat. It's kill or be killed. I was trying to get him.
All right,
like he's trying to get me.
All right, tell us what happened. Look at the monitor, please, Lamon, and describe what happened at the end of the fight. Could you see that he was hardly able to stand at that point?
Yeah. I mean, man, you know, it's easy to punch when you punching, but when a rabbit got the gun, can you take it? I didn't hit him nearly as much as he hit me, but look at where he's at. Look at what I got the belt. You know?
Is it fair to say you have the belt because you had the chin?
I had the heart. Because it ain't about the chin. You know, I had the heart. Like I said, when God is with you, can't no man be against you. I didn't say I was going to win. I told you I was going to win. Don King, like I said, he was up to bat for me. He been out there, and that's why I'm here.
Thank you very much, Lamon.
He didn't want to hit about Don King. He didn't want to hit about Don.
Boy, it's kind of a strange question after such a great win for Lamon Brewster, but given the nature of the fight, did Lamon show us anything tonight that suggests that he's a big factor in the competitive future of the heavyweight division?
Yeah, he showed us that he has a punch. He showed us that he's a very faithful spiritual man, because when God is for you, no man can be against you, and he proved that. Secondly, he showed that he had the chin, the determination, whatever it took to get that belt tonight, he was going to do it. And I can't say it was a battle of chins, it was a battle of wills, and he was definitely the stronger of the two wills tonight.
Fritz Sedunik, Wladimir Klitschko's German trainer, has been with him for many years, said before the fight, if Wladimir Klitschko gets knocked out by Lamon Brewster, he should quit boxing. Should he quit boxing?
Probably. It'd be a good idea for him too, because he's only a 6-round fighter, and only Butterbean can really handle that. So I think he probably should start looking at letting it go, because he's not going to develop into nothing more than what he is. He's been to the top. He showed all he can show. He showed if a guy can take his punch, he can't take what he dishes out.
How might this affect older brother Vitaly now, as Vitaly gets ready to fight Corey Sanders in 2 weeks?
Now Vitaly has a big burden on his back. He has to come uphold the family spirit. If he doesn't come show that these two giants can be real, or something can come from one of them to make somebody believe in them, then their family is going to be ashamed. I mean, both of them are going to make the division look bad. They're going to make the name look bad. So he has to prove to them that they got what it takes to stand up and take it when the going is tough. If not, how can they ever say that they could become heavyweight champions and really dominate the world? It won't happen.
All right. It's great to have you back on the telecast, I'm telling you.
Thank you.
First of all, Dr. Margaret Goodman, the ring doctor here, is not allowing us to speak to Wladimir Klitschko. And indeed, Wladimir will be sent to the hospital. That's a standard procedure after you are a knockout victim here in Las Vegas. Second of all, as we mentioned, on April 24, Corey Sanders fights Vitaly Klitschko for the heavyweight belt that was left behind by Lennox Lewis when he retired. This is the linear championship of the sport. Let's look ahead to that big heavyweight championship fight.
I think in some ways it's increased it, certainly from Sharmba Mitchell's standpoint, because he's waited several years to fight Costa. And further spicing this up is the fact that that first fight ended because of a knee injury to Sharmba Mitchell. And in this fight, it's Costa coming in off more than a year-and-a-half layoff because of injuries. So there's a lot of storylines there.
All right, November 6th from Phoenix, Arizona, Costa and Sharmba Mitchell will go at it again. Coming up next.
Left, man. One of the battles dudes ever. who your car is here. Cranmer's just having fun. 20, 30 years ago, that's recognize anybody else. Back to the drawing board. Imagination of vintage grand performance.
You might not think you're going to win a decision anyway. I would use any tactic I could early in the fight.
Heavyweight bout, an 8-round fight, and it's going to be between Bruce Seldon and Tommy Sandner. An 8-round bout. There is Bruce Seldon. He's an Atlantic City native, born and raised here, the first Atlantic City native getting a network appearance in the boxing ranks.